Time of administrations, 5 minutes and 15 seconds. Bai, gasping for air, muttered, every minute I can hold on makes me stronger. I have to keep going. Suddenly, a knock echoed through the room, followed by what sounded like the comic artist calling his name. Bai, open up, someone yelled from outside. Bai couldn't believe his ears, but when he looked closer, he saw the unthinkable. It was the penguin. Suddenly, the penguin burst through the door. Bai stumbled backward, shocked. The creature shrieked, Bai, I'm Starvina. Bai was stunned. How had it tracked him down? It was the grotesque fusion of the penguin and the comic artist. The monster hissed, let me taste your sweet little heart. A chill ran down Bai's spine. The monster, roaring with laughter, charged towards him with terrifying speed. Bai lashed out with his right foot, sending the monster flying. The force of the kick surprised both the creature and Bai himself. Bai was still marveling at his own power when, in a flash, the monster's tentacles snaked out, wrapping tightly around his left hand and neck, trapping him. The monster squeezed tighter, immobilizing Bai. Time to eat, the creature roared. Bai struggled to breathe. But then, a thought sparked in his mind. It was the knife that had been packaged with the medicine. Bai's hand darted towards it, but the monster was one step ahead, emitting a menacing, goo-goo growl. The monster roared with laughter as it yanked Bai closer. Bai struggled desperately, but the monster was too strong. Spotting the knife, the monster's tentacle lashed out, aiming to destroy it. The monster smashed the knife to pieces. No, Bai screamed, my blue serum, you bastard. He was furious. With a surge of adrenaline, Bai broke free from the monster's grasp. He snatched up the knife and, with a swift motion, severed the tentacle. The monster shrieked in rage. The comic artist and the penguin are finished. Bai growled with a primal scream. He launched himself at the creature, his knife poised to strike. You're supposed to be dead. Bai snarled as he finished off the monster with a single, decisive strike. Time of administration, 7 minutes and 58 seconds. But the antidote was nowhere to be found. Bai frowned. The medicine website was down. What could he do? Then he had an idea. Customer service. He'd reach out to them. But then, another blow. Bai's phone was out of credit. His heart pounded in his chest. Enraged, he smashed the phone to pieces. Bai complained, I heard that it costs $1 per minute to make a long-distance call in India. How can my mobile phone balance be insufficient after only a few days? The network is also not good. But now even if he makes a call, it is useless. There is not much time left. Is this really going to die? Bai coughed and vomited blood. The medication time was 12 minutes and 35 seconds. After taking the medicine, although Bai felt very painful, his brain was also strengthened. His thoughts became very clear. Bai racked his brain. The website mentioned that the enhancer was loaded with warming Chinese herbs, so the antidote must be made of cooling herbs. The pain was becoming unbearable. He wouldn't last 50 minutes at this rate. It was a desperate gamble, but he had no other choice. There was a Chinese medicine shop nearby. Maybe, just maybe, there was still hope. The rain continued to fall. But now, Bai perceived it differently. He could track the path of each raindrop as if time itself had slowed down, like a scene from a film. And his vision, everything was incredibly sharp, almost hyper-real. He was almost there. Hello, anyone here? Bai called out, but his voice echoed unanswered. Without hesitation, he pushed the door open and stepped inside. The Chinese medicine shop was eerily silent. Bai, who had spent years learning traditional medicine from his grandfather, as a child recognized the cooling herbs instantly. He gathered them all, and put them in a pot to boil. Bai's heart was racing, pounding 300 times a minute. He forced down every last drop of the herbal concoction, even managing 15 huge bowls. Bai swore he'd never touch the stuff again. His stomach was killing him. Time of administration, 38 minutes and 45 seconds. Finally, Bai drifted off to sleep, unaware that someone had just entered the room. Who is it? Bai demanded, his voice laced with alarm. The answer was a gunshot, the bullet whistling past, dangerously close to his vitals. Bai reacted instinctively, his enhanced senses allowing him to track the bullet's path and dodge it just in time. The figure fired 3 more shots, but Bai dodged them all. Finally, the shooter got a good look at him. It was a human. The person immediately broke down in tears, apologizing profusely. I'm so sorry, she sobbed. I was just so scared. It was a policewoman. Sir, you have to get out of here, she gasped. I can't run anymore. Don't worry, Bai reassured her. I can handle any zombies that come our way. Just then, a poke ball came rolling out of nowhere, leaving Bai completely bewildered. Bai thought, no way, it can't be a Pikmin, can it? But then, he saw it a zombie wearing a Pikachu outfit, hopping around and squealing. Pika. Bai directly knocked it flying. Bai also said, what do you want? Do you want to use Thunderbolt? But at this time, Bai was still injured, coughing, and the policewoman was also worried and told him not to go out. Bai glanced out the door and did a double take. Am I seeing things? He exclaimed. Is that Ultraman here to defend Earth from evil? I presume. He paused, tilting his head. Or, does your battery need charging? Bai wanted to test if he had really transmigrated. He picked up a pokeball and threw it with all his might at a zombie, shouting, "Return to your pokeball." However, reality told Bai that he was still in the real world, and this was just a normal cosplay. It dawned on Bai that these creatures were all zombies. Just then, an NPC was attacked and grabbed by a zombie pleading, "Please don't eat me." Luckily, the NPC wasn't bitten. Bai figured out that even though they were zombies, their masks prevented him from biting. This explained their apparent weakness. With a surge of anger, that NPC began fighting the zombies. "I finally had it with you," he shouted. "You are always tormenting those lovable little monsters in animated shows. Don't you feel any remorse?" The zombies merely grumbled, "Hungry." Just then, the policewoman cried out, "Run for your lives! A swarm of zombies is approaching from that direction." "I'm too tired to run. I'll stay behind to protect you." The NPC also came to the realization that he had been too rash and had ignored the large group of zombies pursuing them. The NPC was then killed. Bai was taken aback. "Was that spring onion?" he murmured, more to himself than anyone. All sorts of zombies appeared. Seeing the swarm of zombies approaching, Bai knew it was time to go. He quickly scooped up the policewoman and made a hasty retreat. Feeling how light the policewoman was, Bai remarked that she could use a few more pounds. "Hold on tight," he said, before suddenly taking off at a sprint. The unexpected burst of speed made her yelp. "Whoa! How are you moving so fast?" the policewoman gasped. "Watch out, we've got company," she added, pointing to the pursuing zombies. Bai felt like he was overheating, his entire body almost on fire. "Yikes," he yelled. "Why does it feel like I'm gonna blow up when I run?" He was also surprised by the zombie's speed. "Gotta take it down," he thought. "If it keeps chasing us, we're done for." Spotting a street light up ahead, he told the policewoman to hold on tight. "I'm gonna grab something up there." Bai also grabbed her butt, but the policewoman said shyly, Don't touch there." Bai then jumped up and grabbed the street light. The policewoman screamed in fright. Bai yanked it free and, with a fluid motion, stabbed the zombie, piercing its heart. But the zombie just kept going, cackling like a maniac. Bai, his body screaming from the sudden exertion, felt like he was about to burst. The policewoman was out cold. Time of administration passed 48 minutes and 38 seconds, and dizziness washed over him. "If I get stuck here," he thought, "those zombies will be on us in no time." Panic set in. What could he do? Just then, a lightning bolt flashed down from the sky. The huge lightning bolt struck the zombie. Bai was shocked. He thought it was one of the zombie's tricks and felt something was wrong at this time. Time of administration 49 minutes and 9 seconds. Watching the zombie convulse, it dawned on Bai. The metal spike had acted as a lightning rod. The zombie was fried to a crisp. "Well, that's one way to go," Bai muttered. The policewoman was still out cold. He pressed on. Bai coughed, spitting out blood. He felt like he was burning up from the inside out, his metabolism in overdrive. Therein intensified. Out of nowhere, a zombie lunged at him. Bai's mind was racing, trying to figure out how to cool down his feverish body. "Oh, a can freezer." That was it. The rain hammered down, masking the sound of the approaching zombie. Lost in thought, Bai murmured, "There's gotta be a walk-in freezer nearby." He suddenly veered around a corner, sending the creature careening into a telephone pole. The zombie slid down, snarling and roaring. Just then, Bai spotted it, a Grand Hotel. The zombie was right behind him. Just then, Bai realized a zombie was right on top of him. It snarled, its face contorted in a grotesque shriek. The zombie lunged, roaring like a beast. Bai, caught off guard, sidestepped just in time. The creature smashed face first into the hotel's thick, bulletproof glass, the kind you'd find in a 5-star establishment. Bai thought the zombie was an idiot. He suddenly realized that 50 minutes had passed since he took the medicine. He thought, "It seems that the cold Chinese medicine can't completely neutralize the effects, but it has some effect. Am I going to die?" At this time, 58 minutes and 54 seconds had passed since he took the medicine. At last, he made it to the cold storage. A buzzing filled Bai's head, and his visio swam. "I can't give up now," he thought, his mind flashing to his girlfriend. "I have to keep going." The frigid air of the walk-in freezer hit him like a wall. He stumbled inside. The door clicked shut, and Bai crumpled to the floor. The policewoman's eyes fluttered open. Everything was blurry, and her body throbbed. "What? Where?" she whispered, disoriented. A warm weight pressed against her lower abdomen. Her eyes widened, and a blush crept up her neck as she realized what it was. She quickly turned away, but the cold air of the room was too much, and she let out an involuntary sneeze. "Bai, wake up," she shouted, slapping him lightly on the cheek. He was burning hot. "It's too cold in here," she exclaimed, shivering. "We have to get out." She wrestled with the door, but it was no use. The digital display flashed -21 degree, humidity normal. "Ugh, I'm soaked to the bone from that rain. The policewoman shivered. I'm going to freeze solid. Then she noticed Bai. He was radiating heat like a blast furnace. A blush crept up the policewoman's neck. Her mother's warning echoed in her ears. Kiss a man, and you'll get pregnant. But we just hugged, she thought, her cheeks burning. Surely that doesn't count. Does it? With that, she wrapped her arms around Bai, pulling him close. The warmth reminded her of being a child, safe in her mother's arms. Meanwhile, beneath the surface of the polluted water plant, a series of gurgling noises bubbled up. The previous golden coffin emitted infrasound waves at a mutated fish. The golden coffin was opened, revealing the Hunton lock. The tentacles then disassembled the Hunton lock, and a monster emerged. Great King, the monster snarled, its voice filled with rage. I brought you the elixir of eternal life. Why do you repay me with such cruelty? With a powerful leap, the monster landed on the back of the mutated fish. The monster directly ate the mutated fish. It gradually recovered and laughed loudly. Behold, the monster roared. Let me witness the world of 1,000 years hence. At the designated helicopter evacuation point, number 9, H City was a scene of chaos. A sea of desperate faces pushed and shoved, their cries echoing through the air. One man turned to his 3 companions. You really think this is the best place to queue? They are students of H City University, members of the volunteer anti-pickpocketing team, and zombie fighting enthusiasts. The one on the left is called Evil Sister. She says it seems they won't be able to leave H City for a while. The one in the middle, 1+2, says it's so crowded. The one on the right, Jie, with red clothes and hair, is the captain, called Appetizer. He says, how about it? Consider my suggestion. Stay here and experience a real-life survival game. I heard that this time, zombie bites are not contagious. We 4 cooperate very well in the aim. There must be no problem. We'll leave after we've had enough fun. 1+2 says. Strange, we can't see a single zombie here. Jia replies. I just hacked into the government system and checked. We are not in the infected area. The infected area is in the city center very far from here. More than 30,000 people were infected in total. We were evacuated for safety. The special forces in the city center have largely controlled the epidemic. Appetizer, with an air of self-importance, proclaimed, haven't you guys remembered the whole point of our volunteer anti-pickpocketing team? It's all about keeping things chill. Though, let's be honest, he mostly wanted to meet cute girls. Evil Sis snorted. Oh, Captain, she said sarcastically, it's interesting how you always seem to be bringing up the rear. And who's the one always catching the bad guys? That's right, me. Appetizer quickly latched onto her arm. Come on, Evil Sis, he said with a grin. You're the province's martial arts superstar. We're counting on you. Evil Sis narrowed her eyes. 1, 2, she began. If you're still holding on, when I get to 3, I'm gonna. Well, let's just say it wouldn't be pretty. She began her countdown, but Appetizer, with a dramatic flourish, backed away. Ah, what a glorious day, he exclaimed, gesturing to the cloudless sky. Jia, echoing Appetizer's sentiment, announced his intention to raid city for some much-needed research materials. Guns, 1+2, equally enthusiastic, exclaimed, yes, let's head downtown and liberate that deserted department store of its merchandise. Evil Sis, however, quickly brought them back to reality. You two are seriously delusional, she said dryly. Have you forgotten the zombie apocalypse? Then, a voice from the crowd piped up, hey, Evil Sis, remember that LV store by Doming Lake? Evil Sis, with a sudden burst of enthusiasm, yelled, all right, looks like it's up to us to keep the world spinning. Though, let's be honest, that handbag was still priority number 1. Appetizer, meanwhile, was doing his happy dance, picturing himself surrounded by adoring women. These folks are way too stressed, he said to Jia. Time for a little mood music. Let's hack in and pump up the volume. Jia, equally enthusiastic, gave him a thumbs up. Suddenly, music filled the air, and people looked around, confused. Then, as the beat took over, theft started to move, some even breaking into dance. The music played on, and the dancing continued. Back in Jing City, the clock struck 9:32 p.m. A military officer, eyes glued to his computer screen, muttered, sorry, sweetie, but needs must. He was playing a farming simulator, plotting to steal his daughter's virtual harvest. A breathless messenger burst into the room. Sir, it's the young miss. She's gone rogue. Took Zishu and Mao to the prototypes, and flew to H City. Hale went with her. The commander's eyes widened in disbelief. He slammed his hand down on the table. Are you kidding me? H City is a disaster zone. What is she trying to prove? Those Zodiacs aren't ready for the field. I want her back here, immediately. H City team, apprehend the young miss and bring her back to base. In the skies above the quarantine city, inside a small aircraft, the young miss said. Kang, come on. He finally caught up, only to be met with, for the last time, it's a duo, not a Kang. Whatever, Linglong retorted. I'll call you what I like. Her phone rang. It was her dad. Tell him I'm not coming back, she instructed her duo. Oh, and where's Lan Hai? What's he up to? Probably using his superpower again, right? Unbeknownst to her, Lan Hai was currently engaged in his one and only superpower, sleeping. But Lan Hai's sleep is no ordinary slumber. His spirit can leave his body. And what he saw of H City, it was a nightmare. In the sky above City H, inside Japan's invisible warship called Big Tengu, a leader shouted. The old master gave this order. We came to China to catch the person in this picture. Bring them back. All soldiers obeyed. The ninjas jumped directly off the spaceship, led by Wind Demon, Grey Wolf, on Liberation Avenue in H City. The European, Dark Sun Magician, mocked. Are these the infected? What a masterpiece. Don't you think so, Ham? Ham, a talking dog, whimpers in fear. Master, save me. I'm going to be eaten. Wah. The magician chuckles. Oh, my dear Ham, you're a noble demon hound. How could you be defeated by such trash? Ham protests. I'm only 20 years old, still in my juvenile stage. Master, please save me. The magician pulls out a playing card and retorts. Juvenile stage. I've seen you sneaking off with the Viscount's poodle every day, 5 times a day. Ham, the Dark Council has sent me to China on a critical mission. If you can't grow up, you'll be. The magician killed the zombie directly, adding, I'll send you back to Satan's embrace first. On a street in H City, a person was reporting. Left Protector, the leader and the Holy Maiden have both arrived in H City in need. However, the Left Protector only asked, Hey, how's my hair? Is it messy? The person was a bit confused about why you would ask this, but still replied, it's very handsome, the leader and the others. But the Left Protector only said, your hair is so ugly. Then, the Protector was about to leave, saying, aren't we just here in H City to move money? My hairstylist was eaten by those damn zombies. I need to find a new one. On Chonsu Road in H City, a general manager complained. Oh my, who would have thought selling water could cause such a big problem? I must quickly take the money and run. If it weren't for the high electricity costs of purifying the water, I wouldn't have directly filled it with tap water. I'm doomed this time. That last batch of water is being sold in most of China. If they find out, I'll be executed at least 10,000 times. Luckily, I sent my wife and children abroad long ago. He was still immersed in his imagination, completely unaware of the zombie behind him. Then a scream came from the room. In this H City of changing circumstances, one after another good show is about to begin. In the Grand Hyatt Hotel, the policewoman woke up on the bed. She was still thinking, Mommy, hold me. She seemed to have had a very strange dream. Bai stood up thinking, this policewoman is really something. How could she fall asleep in the ice house? Luckily I woke up early, otherwise, we would have both frozen to death in there. But what's strange is that my medicine seems to have been effectively suppressed. The policewoman saw someone throw a pillow and shouted, who are you? Why are you in my room? Bai explained, it's me. I'm the one who carried you. Don't you recognize me? But the policewoman felt that Bai's appearance had changed. He had become more handsome, and her quilt slowly slipped off. The policewoman shouted, my clothes. What did you do to me? Wah. But Bai explained, hey, don't misunderstand. I didn't do anything. It's just that the clothes you wore earlier were soaked by the rain and frozen into armor in the cold storage, so. The policewoman covered her head with the quilt and shouted, Wah, you have to take responsibility. Bai thought, okay, I admit that I was a little bit evil when I took it off, but I really didn't do anything. Bai quickly said, I just carried you to the bed, took off your frozen coat, and then washed it in the hotel. That's it. The policewoman still cried non-stop. Wah, you've seen everything? I'm so embarrassed. Bai emphasized, I had my eyes closed when I took it off. The policewoman then cautiously poked her head out. Bai said firmly, I swear, I didn't see a thing. Inwardly, of course, that's a lie. See anything with my eyes closed. These girls are so easy to trick. I really should have. The policewoman cried, go find me something to wear, now. Bai immediately agreed, no problem. This hotel has plenty of clothes. The policewoman put on her clothes and introduced herself. My name is Hui. Thank you so much this time. What should we do next? Bai found her beautiful and replied, I'm going to the city center to find my girlfriend. What about you? Or how about I send you to the helicopter evacuation point first? Hui replied, my colleagues in the police station were all eaten by a centipede-like monster, and I'm the only one left. I want to go back to S-City to find my parents. Bai agreed to send her off, and now they will go to the pharmacy to get their weapons back first. When they got back to the pharmacy, Hui said, hey, slow down a bit, it's really dark here. I'm kind of scared. Bai reassured her. Don't worry, the medicine's worn off now. I kicked that ice house door down myself. I could probably knock a cow out cold with one punch. Then he stopped listening. Hold on, I hear something. Something's definitely happened here. Suddenly, a monstrous creature burst into the scene, letting out a terrifying shriek. Hui, terrified, exclaimed, that thing is horrible. We have to get out of here. Bai, though a little uneasy, reassured her. Don't worry, I'm not so easily beaten. I've been itching for a chance to test out my new strength. I'll distract it, you make a run for it. With that, Bai unleashed his signature move, the invincible whirlwind bouncing bullet kick, but the monster didn't move at all. Bai felt very embarrassed, thinking, no way, this is a kick that can break through an iron door. How could it be? Buddy, even if you just take a step back. The monster grabbed Bai and stuck out its tongue. Bai grabbed the monster's tongue with force. The monster roared and sent Bai flying. Hui asked Bai if he was okay. Bai was careless. He didn't expect monster to be so strong, but Bai's strength and body was indeed very strong. Bai replied, it's okay, why haven't you left yet? But coughing blood, Bai realized that the monster would keep following them. Then he asked Hui if she knew if there was a Sunshine Primary School nearby, to go there and wait for him. He already had a plan. Bai told Hui to leave quickly so that he could deal with it with peace of mind. Hui was still hesitant, but Bai firmly told her to leave. Without warning, the monster launched a surprise attack, shocking Bai. Bai managed to block the monster's blow, but his bones still took a beating. He was stunned by how strong it was. Remembering he had a knife, Bai seized it and launched himself at the monster. Bai was still knocked away. He realized that as soon as he exerted force, his body would still feel burning. His body was only strengthened a little bit in strength, not the opponent of this heavyweight zombie. That knife was too many for the monster, completely ineffective. Bai realized that Hui had already gone far at this time, so he now led it to that place according to the plan, and the monster's speed was also very fast. Bai ran desperately, hoping to get rid of it on the way. At this time, in the suburbs of W City, a person said, report to the officer. The number 58 armor-piercing projectile is in place, and the target range is 47,000 meters. The Gustav cannon is ready. The cannon roared to life. Bai, in H City, saw something streak across the sky. He initially mistook it for a shooting star, but quickly realized it was a missile. He was immediately confused and worried. Why was it heading straight for downtown? A missile detonation in the city center would be a catastrophe? Was the government really so callous about public safety? His girlfriend was there. Bai glanced back and noticed something odd hurtling through the air. Definitely not a toy car. He immediately dove for cover. That's outrageous. Using a car as a weapon, the monster closed in on Bai, who calmly dodged and kept running. Bai saw a refugee and yelled, run, monster behind you. The refugee seemed confused. Then he used his skill playing dead, thinking, can't see me? The monster ignored him. Bai was shocked. Wow, it worked. I wish I could do that, but I'd probably die. A familiar zombie pounced on the sprinting Bai, who exclaimed, not you again, and ducked to avoid the attack. The monster grabbed the zombie and ate it directly. Bai continued to run. That monster has evolved again. It was already 9:11 p.m. and Bai was finally about to arrive at that place. With that thing, no zombies would be a problem. Bai suddenly saw a bear chasing a giraffe. Is it cosplay again? Why does this bear bark like a dog? Bai noticed the costumes were from a nearby kindergarten. The bear was infected, its gut spilling out. Exhausted, Bai hallucinated a finish line, but then, realizing he had to save the giraffe, kicked the bear away. Bai grabbed the giraffe, who cried for her mother. We're here, Bai said. I'll protect you. Lu struggled, saying she was hungry and wanted milk.